Good afternoon, America. Good afternoon, citizens, world citizens. The time now is 16:33 p.m. and it's Sunday, 24th of August 2025. I want to talk a little bit about something which is very in tune to what the human race is all about. And I'm gonna dwell into something that many citizens, humans in particular, have no idea about their origin in the world. Now we have to understand that there are many concepts as to the origin of the human race and where they originally came from. Many people are saying, many scientists are saying that they came originally from Mars. But before Mars, where did they really come from? And I'm going to point out a few situations here, and a few historical contexts. Now, these are found in some of the hieroglyphic and cuneiform forms from the Sumerian, some of the Sumerian tablets, and buried archaeological finds. I'm going to talk about the LYREAN diaspora. And I'm going to start off with something which is very familiar to you, the scientists. And you're going to either be taken aback by the information I give you. Now I'm going to start off with the Draco reptilians in Orion, and the regal forming of the Draco Orionite Empire, with the Syrian wolfen kingdoms, who are an aggressive species of extraterrestrials. They're warlike, tyrannical species, not at all interested in peaceful coexistence, but only in the domination and enslavement of other civilizations. Now, behind all of this is an interesting fact as to the histories of this race or species. They're reptilians. They're reptilians in nature. And they are basically another breed or another species which are totally against that species of extraterrestrials. They are the Pleiades, or the what they call the Nordic ones, or the enlightened ones. I'm going to continue doing reading from this excerpt. Okay, but it is known that the reptilians were the first to arrive on the earth, and that seniority, they believe, entitles them to whatever galactic real estate they want. Also, their DNA does not change. It has remained the same since they first appeared. They believe in this concept, and they indicate that they are already perfect. To them, they feel they are perfect and do not need to improve genetically. These beliefs further bolster their contention that they were destined to rule the galaxy. If that is not enough, they can always invoke mighty makes right. Philosophically, to justify their conquest, they are a race of mighty warriors, and that's the truth. con, uh, how would you say, conveniently non confirmed by the Earth scientists. The humanoids in the galaxy were at that time concentrated in the LYREAN star systems. That means the humans that were involved in the ancient days that were transported or translated here to the Earth, where they had established peaceful and advanced agricultural communities on several planets, and they traded with each other. The LYREAN star cluster was the home base for humans in this galaxy. Swerdlow tells us that the LYREANs were 7 to 8 feet tall and primarily blonde and blue-eyed. When the Draco Orionites became aware of the LYREANs, they pretended friendship with them, which they took stock of, the riches of their empire. In other words, the LYREANs, which are called the Nordics or the Pleiadians. And I'm going to be very tactful in what I say, because it's like a variety of races or species. But to make the story more adequate towards human intelligence, they had a, how would you say it, a run-in with the reptilians, or the Draco reptilians or Orionites. And since then, they have a warring factor, many millions of years of warring against that respective race and species of extraterrestrials. We call them the Draconians. The Pleiadians were a peaceful society, and they were mostly agriculturists and builders and hunters, hunter-gatherers. But then came the reptilians, who were warlike and aggressive, hostile. And the story goes that they enticed the LYREANs into giving up their resources in exchange for technology. And then they betrayed them, giving them a, how would you say, the finger, and say, okay, we're going to take over your empire, and as much as they do with the other galaxies and other planets. And let me continue this. Now, the LYREANs were primarily blonde and blue-eyed, much like the Pleiadians, as I've said. And sometimes you will understand that the Draco Orionites, or the reptilians, did not really get along with those LYREANs. They hunted them down, trying to destroy them and exterminate their species. They pretended friendship while they took stock of all their resources and humans in the galaxy. In his book, the Defending Sacred Ground, an Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier, describes the first contact. And I'm going to be kind of factful in this, how would you say, talk, because I know that many of you will not understand what I'm saying to you, and maybe not understanding the concept of this highly science fiction, not a science fiction, but a historical fact, because it's not written in our books. but it's written in ancient texts. Let me put it this way. There were 8 colonies on different planets, 8 different planets, and all 8 planets were invaded by these draconian, Draco-reptilian Orionites species. They used also the wolfen species, which were a type of wolf humanoid, or like a wolfman type of species, who were very aggressive and warlike as well. But these tended to do something very horrendous to their adversaries. They tended to consume their flesh after they've destroyed them, in a sort of ritual of what you would say conquering. I can imagine what would happen in this race of humanoids or humans if something would happen to this world in an invasion like that. Now, like I said before, I'm not a person of less intellectual context unless I really research it. And there are many things that we still do not understand on this planet and above us. The mysteries of space and where we come from. Who were we before we came to Earth? What if is the question. Now let me continue. I want to talk to you about Lyra and how the human race colonized our galaxy. Based on the age of the suns and planets in our galaxy, it was decided that the human life form was to be created in the LYREAN system. The human race lived there for approximately 40 million years. That's a long way. Evolving, the orientation of the human race in Lyra was agricultural, and I've said that. Agricultural in nature. Apparently, we were very plentiful and abundant, and lived in peace. Then one day, a huge craft appeared in the sky, much like we were seeing now, with this 3A Atlas, or 3A1 Atlas, appeared in the sky. A large ship came out of the huge craft. And I've got something to say about that asteroid. I'm going to explain that to you later on in the story. And as this vehicle or craft approached the planet Bila, and reptilians from Alpha Draconis disembarked, apparently the Alpha Draconians and the LYREANs were afraid of each other. I told you before that the Alpha Draconians were apparently the first race in our galaxy to have interstellar space travel, and have had the capability for 4 billion years. Well, when the Draconians came and saw Bila with all its abundance and food and natural resources, the Draconians wanted to control it, much as what they're doing in this world, on this planet. There was apparently a miscommunication or misunderstanding between the Draconians and LYREAN humans. The LYREANs wanted to know more about the Draconians before some kind of assistance was offered. And that's the question of the technology. You see, you trade technology for human slavery or human trade. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? We have a concept now in this world where we're trading human beings for technology. Doesn't that sound familiar to the what happened with this the Lyrian Empire? Get my meaning. The Draconians mistook the communication as a refusal and subsequently destroyed 3 out of 14 planets in the Lyrian system. The Lyrians were basically defenseless. The planet Bila, Tekka, and Marok were destroyed. Over 50 million Lyrian humans were killed. At this point in history, that the Draconians began to look at humans as a food source. Well, if you look at the Everglades and the Amazon, what do you see? You see large reptiles and alligators and crocodiles, just like you see in the Nile River. And what do they eat? They cannibalize themselves, or they eat other creatures and species, flesh. Sound familiar? Let me continue. This is how old the struggle is between the reptilian and the human races. In other words, they're here on this planet as well, and we know they are. We have been enabling them for centuries. Now, many of you who are in tune with this concept and understanding know that there are hybrid humans on this planet, that there are hybrid reptilians, and their desire is to take on the mimicry of a human being for a purpose. They have no soul. There is no soul in a reptilian or an alien. They have no soul. And if you look very internally and intelligently, you'll find the truth. There is no consciousness in them. Their soul. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So the next time you talk about a reptilian or a draconian or a lyran, remember that history. What's up there? There's much to learn, and there are a lot of mysteries, especially after that passing the Kepler belt, in which we cannot traverse or go through, because we are not allowed to go through that Kepler belt. That's a race. And if we do, we're destroyed. Why I say this? Because the reptilians or the draconians have access to the Kepler belt, or belt, among other things that we are just finding out. Let me stop this for a minute, and I hope that many of you are taking it in, and I hope that many of you do your research. You have the history in your eyes, but you cannot see it. But you'll learn in time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you understood my message. Don't think that we are alone on this world or in the universe. We are not. I basically equate this to like a fish tank, this universe, like a fish tank. You have many variable types of fish in the fish tank. But then you put 2 or 3 aggressive types of fish and they gobble up the rest. Understand what I'm saying to you. Be wise. Be wise in who you meet and who you talk to. You never know. Be well. Good day.